Hey there, with everything going on in the world right now, have you thought about changing your career? I bet you have. So, welcome to my video blog. My name is Brian Rice, and today I want to talk about how you can change your career at any age. So, one of the things that I've been thinking about here is that, we're quite often tied to our situation. We're bound to our practices and beliefs, we're bound to our habits, right? And so, how do we break that? How do we move beyond it? I think there's three things that could do it. But first, what I'd like to do is I just want to ask everybody forward this or tag somebody that needs to hear this because I know this isn't a one off conversation and this is something that's being talked about quite often. Also, be sure to subscribe and find out more as we build the conversation here. So let's dive into it. All right. So three things that I'm thinking about. So the first thing is, what is it that you really want, right? So thinking, trying to put the frame of reference, right? You've been 9 to 5 grind, or maybe you even have your own small business, your partner, you're a solopreneur, it doesn't matter what it is, but you've been in this path. You've been on this motion. You've been going in a certain direction. All of a sudden, you're thinking, all right, you know what? This isn't congruent. I know I need to change. I know there's something, but maybe, you're on, you have car payments and you have a mortgage and, you've got tuition for kids or whatever it is, right? Like any number of things. And all of a sudden, you're like, well, wait a second, that's recurring and those are definite. And so on the other side here, I'm thinking about doing something else. It's not so definite, it's not so certain. So how do I connect those? How do I get from A to B where I cover my needs and I cover those things that need to be certain with something that's less certain? So the first thing is like take a step back from it, just say, okay, all that's going to be there. You're not going to be irresponsible and do anything brash just yet. But take out a piece of paper, put on your notes, voice memo, whatever it is, and talk about what do you want. And it's not, I'm not talking about you want a new car or you want a bigger square foot house or you want the latest gadget or you want a better phone or those things will come. I'm talking about let's go a little deeper. Let's dig a little deeper into it and say, who do you want to become? What is it that you want? Be crystal clear about that. Do you want to be operating from a place of philanthropy? Do you want to be operating from a place of absolute strength and power? Like, what is it? And there's no judgment here, right? There's no right or wrong. We're all different people and we all have different wants and needs. But at the end of the day, if you're crystal clear about what you want, guess what? That's like the massive first step to get you to where you need to go. And then all those other things will come. So that's the first thing. The second thing, once you've built that clarity, once you've got that crystal clear vision about it, think about the resources you have and don't have. Do you need a lot of money to do it? I mean, odds are like money makes it easier in some ways because you don't have to think about other things. Less money makes you more resourceful, right? So less resources, more resourcefulness. Do you have friends? Do you have colleagues? Do you have partners? Do you have somebody else that's working in the same space that you can leverage to do the same thing? Like, how do you actually, how can you get there, right? So, do a big inventory, both macro and micro, of what you got. You're clear on where you're going, what you want, who you want to become. Now, let's get the inventory of what do you have, what do you need, find those blind spots, be honest with yourself. That's the other thing. Be crystal clear, be completely honest with what it is that you're wanting and what you have and what you don't have. And then the third thing is get out there and execute. And I'll just say motion, right? You need to move. Every journey of 1,000 steps starts with a single step. Nothing happens without micro motion, micro activity to get to this massive macro outcome. So be clear on what you're doing, inventory and leverage what you've got, because even if you don't have the resources, you can be resourceful on what's there. And then the third thing, absolutely move, whether that's being physically active, whether it's reading and learning a new language or whatever it is that stimulates the mind and gets you thinking, takes you out of that space and that do loop of, oh gosh, I got to be resourceful and how to, no, no, no. Do something that stimulates you. And guess what? The law of attraction will bring in all these other things that you need. So those are my three thoughts. So love it if you engage here and let me know what you do, what your thoughts are. I'll respond to all the comments. Subscribe if you want to hear more, and then let's go from there. Be clear, move, do what you got to do. It's going to be great. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.